Well, that makes me think like about what do you think people get wrong about or misunderstand about selling insurance in Africa and in Asia?
I think the most common mistake is misunderstanding that this is a distribution challenge, not a product challenge. So, time and time again, I see, especially insurance companies. I mean, it's a very product-led industry, and I think it's one of the last remaining product-led industries. And if you don't believe me, um, pull out a pitch deck from an insurance company, and normally what it is it's kind of like, this is who we are, this is how fabulous we are, this is how strong our balance sheet is. These are our partners, and then it ends with, these are our products. And so, it always goes to, here are our products. And for me, that's kind of irrelevant, because once you do that, then you just become a commodity. Once you do that, then the next logical question is, okay, let me take your products and let me go find out if I can get a better product or a better price. And actually, when we're talking about microinsurance, the most critical element here is the customer journey. The most critical element is working out how to remove friction, because at the moment, when there's 97% of people who don't have insurance, they wake up every morning and they can't be bothered to buy insurance. So in many ways, we're not competing with AIG or AXA, or any of the insurance companies. We're actually competing with apathy. And so if you make it at all difficult to sign up and use insurance products, then people will just default to their kind of to their existing position of not buying it. And so friction needs to be removed from the sign up process. So how do I sign up? How do I pay for? How do I use the product? And if you can remove all of that friction, then you can have very, very dramatic kind of end results. I think it's true, and I think I've seen, certainly in my time, that you can succeed with a bad product, but with a really good kind of frictionless digital customer journey. But you can absolutely fail with a great product and a terrible customer journey. And so we've seen that play out time and time again, and I think that's where most people make mistakes.
So I hear from that in Africa, in emerging markets in Asia, where you're trying to get to customers to develop a solution with them, the way in which you deliver it to them is almost as important as what you're giving to them.
It's more important, absolutely. More important.
Yeah. I mean, that does bring to mind the question for me, though. It's like, why do people who may be struggling to feed themselves and their family, why do they need insurance?
It's a good question. So, I mean, certainly, I think, if you go into the slums in Nairobi and stand there and say, anyone want to buy life insurance? I mean, no one will. There won't be an orderly queue formed. And it's true. Like, none of us wake up wanting to buy insurance. And if you're poor, you really, if you're a low-income African, you really don't wake up wanting to buy insurance. You wake up with many, many things on your mind. And I think that's the issue. We can't sell insurance to these people, but we can sell solutions to the risks they face. I remember sitting down with one of our clients, and I'm talking to them, and I asked them a question around what causes you to spend money in unexpected ways. And she it was brilliant. And she kind of sat back. She hasn't got any teeth in her, in her kind of mouth at all. And she kind of sits back and she's kind of tries to think. And she leans forward and she says, I eat risk for breakfast. The most kind of profound. And you kind of think, what is, and basically what she was trying to say is, like, her entire life is about risk. She wakes up, she's worried about, how do I get water without being attacked and losing, and having my money stolen? How do I do this without kind of being, assaulted? And so her entire life is about risk. And so when you address those risks, so instead of trying to sell life insurance, you say, hey, if something happens to you, would you like your kids to finish school? Then that's a very different conversation than would you like to have life insurance? And that's what I mean about the customer journey. It's not about the product, right? If you position the product front and center and say, this is the product I'm selling, who wants to buy it? You'll get no one to buy it. But if you say, if you embed into a brand that people trust, so a mobile phone company, and why do they trust it? They trust it because they're using it every day, and because they top up. And when they top up airtime, they're pay-as-you-go customers. And when they buy airtime, it works. And so when that brand says, hey, I noticed that you're sending money home to your family because you're a worker, you're a domestic worker in the city. I see that you're sending money home. Would you like your kids to finish school? if something bad happens to you and you lose your job, then you trust that brand, and you trust that actually, if something was to happen to you, then your kids would be taken care of. It's easy to pay because you can pay in daily, daily installments, by small deductions from your airtime balance. So there's no pain associated with paying. It's easy to sign up because all you have to do is press one, or press the button, and you're signed up. So suddenly it's from a brand you trust. It's frictionless to sign up. It's frictionless to pay, and it's about a risk that you're worried about. It's not a product that you're being sold. It's about something that you woke up this morning and thought, I really worry about how my kids would finish school if I lost my job. And people will respond to those products.